Hello, everybody. What a privilege to be with you today, the 19th of March, for our virtual trade show. My name is Liesel X. I'm from Stoke. Viviana and I will be your MCs for today. We're going to be a little bit like co-pilots in the studio. Our role will be to introduce you to the lineup of amazing speakers to help you navigate through the trade show and through this platform, and to ensure that you get all the information you need today in your hands and in your heart. Viviana, the day is finally here. Can you believe it?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a lot of hard work, Liesel, from everybody involved. So really super excited for everybody to see this virtual trade show and have the experience that we've been working on for a couple of months now. So very exciting. So yes, welcome to everybody to our first CFAO South Africa virtual trade show. My name is Viviana Kosciaris. I'm the head of communication for CFAO in South Africa. As I mentioned, we are really excited for you to join us here today. The virtual trade show is a very exciting platform that we've created for each of you to learn about each individual entity within the CFAO South Africa group, to be proud of belonging to this group. We want you to be informed, to be able to tell the CFO story in South Africa. And also today, very excitingly, we're giving you the opportunity to be able to engage with our leadership group here at CFO in South Africa, as well as within each entity. So you'll see the Q&A that will be part of the agenda, and you'll be able to ask our leadership group questions, and they'll be able to answer them for you. So that's really exciting.
Viviana, I see at this stage we are about 800 people online. I know we are expecting more people to join us as we are speaking. I think more and more people are joining on the platform. I think we had registrations of about 1,650 odd people. I wonder when last you guys were in a crowd with 1,500 or 1,600 people. That's a lot of people under one roof. I was thinking last night in my preparation, how many people can fit into a Boeing aeroplane? And I actually Googled it, and it is about 430 odd people. So if we today are about 1,500 people, CFAO employees together, it means we need about four Boeings for this lift off. It's amazing to think about it. That's a lot of people together. So we would like you to tell us from which entity you are joining. We want to see from which of our brands and which of the entities are here. So I'm going to ask the studio to pull up a poll for us. You should see a poll appearing on your screen with a drop-down list. So you are merely going to click from which entity you are joining. Maybe you are from CFAO Equipment, or from CFAO Mobility, or from AMS. We want to welcome all of you. So please give us an indication where you are joining from. You can just click where you are joining from. Thank you. Viviana, I know you wanted to mention the chat function also.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Liesel. While everybody is completing the poll, as you mentioned, in terms of which entity they are from, you'll see exactly where you're completing the poll. There is a chat function on the right-hand side of your screen. If you're in full screen mode, you can exit full screen mode and you will be able to access that chat. And throughout the morning, it's important that you can comment, you can use the chat to ask questions, and you can even share achievements and stories with us that you'd like everybody to know about happening on the ground in your entity. So we encourage you throughout the next hour or two, use the chat throughout the morning, communicate with us, give us some information, and take the opportunity to ask some questions.
It's a wonderful way to engage, and I think people are able to remain anonymous. So you not necessarily need to add your name to the comments field and the chat. Right, here we go. Which entity you are joining from, Viviana? Sure. Lots of people from CFAO Mobility. A big welcome to all of you. Then CFAO Equipment, about 28% of the people online. I see it's still changing. You're welcome to keep telling us. If you've just joined, please give us an indication from which entity you are joining. About close to 9%. Yeah, there we go. 9.1% from TTIF. A big welcome. Doesn't matter from which entity you are joining, you are part of the CFAO family in South Africa. Let us run through our agenda for our time together today. So you might have seen the agenda also as you entered into our 3D metaverse. How amazing was that entrance? So you might have seen the agenda up there. So just to reiterate, we're going to start with an overview of CFAO, where Richard, as well as Andrew, will share with us some of the history of CFAO and a quick overview of this amazing group. Then we are going to ask each of our MDs of the various entities to share with us some of their insights and to introduce us to the brands and the entities that make up CFAO South Africa as a group. Then Philippe is going to share with us the expansion of the South African ecosystem as well, before Cecile and Muriel expand on the plans for the people in this amazing group. Then we're going to look towards the future, what it will hold, before we start a panel discussion. And thereafter, you will have the opportunity to browse the various booths that the entities have put together. This is probably going to be one of the highlights, I think, of your time. So when we get to 11:25, make sure to be on the link. You're really going to enjoy looking at all the content and seeing and being introduced to the various entities. These booths will also remain open till 5 o'clock this afternoon. So if you are not able to be with us around 11:25, they will remain open, and we will tell you more about that a little bit later as well. This is quite a lineup of speakers, Viviana. This CFAO showcase and trade show is really an amazing opportunity for all of you to also get to know the CFAO South Africa leadership team today. But I'm absolutely intrigued by a button at the top of your navigation pane that says rewards. Now, when we see rewards, we are all leaning in, right, to see what it is all about. So I'm really excited about the rewards page. I see it's coming up on screen for all of you. There you've got it. So right at the top, next to the button that says virtual booths there, right at the top, it says rewards. When you click on it later, you will see a screen like this appearing. And here it is going to be like a treasure hunt. Throughout our time together, you are going to have an opportunity to really find and collect all the missing badges and these secret stars to complete your page. So this is our challenge to you today, to make sure that you visit all the booths, that you are able to collect the hidden hands as well as the star badges. And then there is also the upside. If you complete this whole page, Viviana, people are going to have an opportunity to win or to compete and to win some raffle prizes. Am I correct?
That's correct, Liesel, 100%. Yes, it's very, very exciting because we each have the opportunity to engage with the content that's been published by each entity. There will be a raffle draw for everybody that completes the rewards page. So definitely, as you mentioned, we encourage everyone to click on that rewards page, look at all the different activities and fun games that are included in each of the entities' booths. We will do a randomized computer draw after this event in the next week, and we'll do one per entity. So exciting. There's going to be 5 prizes available for everybody to win, which is very, very exciting. And I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag. I'm not going to say what those prizes are, but it is going to be very, very exciting. And I think something that will make everybody super jealous that you've got in hand. So definitely encourage everybody to click on that rewards page and make sure you find all the hands and participate in all the activities highlighted per booth. Okay. I think
That
it
sounds
looks like
amazing. It's a pity I'm not allowed to participate.
myself included. It is a huge pity, but definitely just leave space for everybody else to participate. So, and also a reminder again, please use the chat. If you have any questions or if you want to share exciting information that you're finding in the booths that you're finding interesting, definitely head off to the chat as well. And also, I just want to mention at this point in time, if anybody is having any technical issues with connecting to any of the aspects of the trade show, there is a support button located in your top navigation as well. Please click on that support button and they will definitely assist you if you're having any technical issues. Okay, but I think, Liesel, it looks like we're ready for our first speaker, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right, Viviana. We are very excited to introduce you to Richard. That is
Excellent.
the CFAO Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of CFAO. He joined in 1999, so that is like 25 years ago that he joined this group as a development director in the automotive division. He became CFAO's head of finance in 2002 and then the chief operating officer of CFAO Automotive 3 years later. He's appointed as chairman of the management board, and Richard is chairman of the board and CEO of the group since 2017, following the structural changes in that year. So without further ado, we're going to switch over to Richard.
So good morning to everyone. My name is Richard Biel. I'm here in my office in Paris. I'm the chairman and CEO of the CFAO group, and very pleased today to introduce myself to the South African team. South Africa is really a big country and the most developed country in Africa. And 5 years ago, in 2018, CFAO was not at all in South Africa. And now South Africa represents 25% of the total revenue of CFAO Group, the first country by far in terms of revenues. And I'm very happy and very proud of the development that we made in South Africa. It was step by step. Initially, we merged with TTAF in Durban for the production support activity, and also we merged with the export function called AMS to support the export to Africa. And then we made the acquisition in 2020 of CFA Mobility, previously named Unitrans. And then we made another big acquisition, EIE, now called CFA Equipment. So altogether, we are very happy with the business we have in South Africa. It's a profitable business with a good development. And first of all, I would like to congratulate all the team for this development in South Africa. And also to say that, to share with you that we don't want to stop here. We want to, of course, still to develop the mobility domain in South Africa. We have a lot of potential and upside in all our business, production support, mobility, and equipment. But also, ideally, we would like to enter in the healthcare market in South Africa, and also to be part of the development in renewable energy. Electricity in South Africa is one of the biggest challenges for the country, and we would like very much to contribute to develop some new energy solution like renewable energy, and I hope in a few years we will be one of the key players in that domain also. So thank you again for your contribution. Enjoy your day and hope to see you soon in South Africa, in your different place in this big country. Thank you very much.
Thank you to Richard. Thank you especially for him joining our trade show and giving us that lovely introduction. It is truly inspiring to hear about the strategic importance that South Africa plays within the CFAO group and the important part it forms as part of a Pan-African business. So very inspiring and very informative. Thank you, Richard. The size, reach, and footprint of CFAO Group are definitely part of our strengths. Next, to tell us more about the size, the stature, and the strategy of the group is Andrew Velleman, the CEO of CFAO in South Africa. Andrew joined Toyota Tradeshow Corporation in 2003, and then in 2007, Toyota Tradeshow Africa, which went on to become CFAO South Africa in 2017. He has held various positions before being appointed Operations Director for Production Support of TTAF Division in 2018. Andrew was then appointed CEO of CFAO in South Africa in April 2020. So over to Andrew.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrew Velleman, the Chief Executive Officer of CFAO in South Africa. Welcome to all of our CFAO South Africa colleagues. This virtual trade show is the first for CFAO South Africa, which we genuinely embrace technology to have one event with all our colleagues across the country in the same virtual space. We aim to achieve one understanding of CFAO in South Africa and work towards our shared goals. Today, we proudly showcase each entity's diverse products and services that lead us toward market leadership and becoming a key player in South Africa's mobility market. I hope that today leaves you more inspired to collaborate and more curious to see what the future holds for us. We can be proud of our team, our scale, our stature, and our strategy. I am proud to be part of the CFAO South Africa team, and I trust that you are too. We have a solid and dedicated leadership team. Collaboration and integration across CFAO in South Africa makes business sense and must be driven by everyone. We are confident that together we can deliver an even greater CFAO South Africa as we move towards market leadership. We are proud of our scale, stature, and strategy that will deliver an unrivaled integrated mobility ecosystem. For our scale and size, we have almost 7,000 colleagues here in South Africa, over 160 sites, with a strong distribution network and a very diversified service offering. We can admire our stature as part of a solid, successful Pan-African business, proud history with many moments of success, strong market knowledge and skills. We are trusted by our business partners, and we are with a desire to add value ethically within our business. We have a strategy to deliver a strong expansion plan for South Africa, supporting the entire CFAO Group's African operation with greater engagement and collaboration, which is picking up momentum for us all. We have much to be proud of. The size and scale of our integrated mobility ecosystem brings significant value to the entire mobility value chain. The ecosystem enables working together to strengthen and unlock further opportunities for our stakeholders. Our strategy highlighted that we are part of a proud and Pan-African company, CFAO Group. We can stand firm in our strong market knowledge, developed relationships, and astute leadership. As we grow our business, we can rely on the global CFAO Group and TTC market experience to strengthen our integrated mobility ecosystem offering. CFAO South Africa is a significant part of CFAO Group and in turn of Toyota Tradeshow Corporation. Our almost 7,000 colleagues represent 30% of the CFAO Group workforce and constitute 10% of the entire headcount across Toyota Tradeshow Corporation globally, and we are still growing here in South Africa. Financially, we are also significant. Our €2 billion annual contribution is 25% of the 8 billion euro of CFAO group revenue and almost 3% of the entire Tradeshow Corporation's revenue. It is thanks to your contribution that helps to make this all possible. We are proudly moving towards market leadership, consistently placing our integrated mobility ecosystem at the center of why we do business, adding value with our diverse service offerings. Our values steer us, and we drive our strategic intent towards digitalization, manufacturing and localization, integration and transformation, and a continued OEM integration with a multi-brand focus. We are indeed a crucial player in the country's mobility market. We must harness our responsibility to transform into a safe, environmentally sound working environment. Our integrated mobility ecosystem is what we offer right now. However, as we grow and expand, we must react to market needs and business opportunities. Collaboration and partnerships are key. Development of our culture and DNA is critical as we leverage our strength for the future. However, we must pronounce our name correctly for the rest of the world to make sense of it. CFAO is pronounced as it says, CFAO, and not CFAO. CFAO stands for Corporation for Africa and Overseas. We need a greater understanding of CFAO in South Africa and what each others of our businesses is offering. We must build a more significant internal brand impact and one compelling CFAO South Africa value proposition. We can reap significant business benefits if we embrace one way of working in CFAO across South Africa. I am confident that our fresh and exciting initiatives as part of the engagement strategy will be fun and stimulating, and you will see business benefits as we unite under one CFAO in South Africa brand. CFAO South Africa is about our people. The engagement and collaboration strategy involves taking hands and making our human brand come to life. Together as one CFAO in South Africa, we can unlock more growth opportunities for our business and our careers. The engagement strategy will allow us to take hands in the common understanding as a business of champions. We must celebrate all of our people, all of our colleagues, using their hands to build CFAO in South Africa. Engagement will allow us to adopt best practices and unite under one CFAO brand in South Africa. Core to the CFAO way of doing things is the adherence to the values and living the CFAO way. Entrepreneurship, agility, diversity, and performance. The success of CFAO in South Africa is in our hands. Everyone can collaborate and belong to the broader vision. Our articulated CFAO values and attitudes in South Africa give rise to behaviors that celebrate collaboration and engagement in teams across the business within our group here in South Africa. Fostering these values will result with resulting attitudes and behaviors will create a sense of belonging and promote transparency and alignment into one CFAO in South Africa, where our people have a voice and contribute with their skill and initiative to a shared prosperous future. In closing, I would like to give thanks for your dedication, for your loyalty. May we all strive and work together to make CFAO South Africa an even greater business that we can all be proud of. Thank you for your time, and I wish you a successful trade show today in the virtual format and hope that everyone enjoys. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Andrew. Listening to you, I just realize how much growth and expansion is in the DNA of this business. It really has been for many years, and it continues to be one of the key strengths of this group, that growth and expansion is what you are about. Andrew referenced the integrated mobility ecosystem in his presentation. So now we are going to see who has the fastest fingers for the next game that we are going to do together. So if you are connecting via a mobile phone, you will still be able to play this puzzle game with us. The studio is going to bring up a scrambled set of puzzle pieces. And then, as I said, we're going to see who's got the fastest finger to complete this puzzle. I'm going to ask the studio to just pull it up for us. There we go. Right. I see some people making progress. There will be a leaderboard that will show us who had the fastest fingers here. You should recognize the image. You have seen it a few times already in various presentations. I see some people are done already. That looks great. Well done. I hope you were able to complete the puzzle. This is, in fact, the image, as you know, that represents the CFAO South Africa integrated mobility ecosystem. I'm wondering if we are able to see the leaderboard. I'm going to check with my studio backstage if they can pull it up. If there is any way, I'm putting them on the spot now. We didn't rehearse this, so I'm putting them on the spot just to see if it is able for us to have a look at who had the fastest finger. If you haven't completed yet, you can still do it. The QR code is on the screen. If you are connecting with a phone, you are also welcome to just scan the QR code. Right, studio is advising me that they are going to pull it up for us. We are going to remind you of the awards page right at the top of your screen. So later on, when we are done here in the auditorium, you will have an opportunity to complete all the missing badges and the stars on the rewards page. In the meantime, I also want to draw your attention, for those of you that just joined, a big welcome. And I want to draw your attention to the right-hand side where we have the chat function flowing. This is an opportunity for you also to post any questions you might have for the leadership team of CFAO South Africa, or to congratulate them, or to share an accolade, or to share a proud moment from your entity or from your brand. So please feel free to make use of it on the right-hand side. I want to see if we can pull up the leaderboard for the puzzle we've just completed. It should give me an indication of who had the fastest fingers to complete that game. Right, there on your screen you can see, it looks like, is it Rian or Ruan Badenhorst? Well done, number one. Sure, there is a mix of people from different entities in that leaderboard. Shweta, maybe if we can just scroll down. I'm not sure if it's possible. I think it goes up to number 25. Oh, up to number 7. Good. Right, this is just the beginning, guys. There'll be more opportunities to get your name on the leaderboard. A big shout out to the top 6 or 7 people. Well done. We're going to reflect back on the journey of CFAO in South Africa with a short video clip.
How much do you know about CFAO South Africa's long and proud history in South Africa's mobility market? Did you know that CFAO South Africa was the first regional division of the French-based CFAO Group, which is a subsidiary of Toyota Tradeshow Corporation? The CFAO Group is no stranger to Africa. It opened its first business in Africa in 1852, growing new businesses and changing names until it finally became the CFAO Group in 1887. In Japan, the Toyota Tsusho Corporation started operating in 1922 and opened an office in Johannesburg in 1964, just 3 years after Toyota began vehicle production in Durban. What a powerful combination of skills and expertise. Of course, it wasn't until South Africa's 1994 democratic elections that the Johannesburg office became a branch office, coinciding with the re-export of Toyota's locally manufactured vehicles. Today, CFAO South Africa is not only a key player in the local mobility market with nationwide locations and almost 7,000 colleagues who deliver the sale and rental of vehicles and trucks, supply chain solutions, logistics management, material handling, assembly for the automotive industry, and importing and exporting automotive components. CFAO South Africa delivers an unrivaled integrated mobility ecosystem, harnessing its strong market knowledge and partnerships to add value ethically and support the development and growth of the automotive industry. And CFAO South Africa just keeps growing and diversifying, which is why if you really want to know what we're all about and where we're headed, you have to understand the vital role and history that each and every company brings to our success story.
That's great. Thank you. That's a very interesting video, and I hope everybody got some valuable insights into how our group keeps on growing. And how each entity makes up the group. And I really want to highlight this point because as CFAO in South Africa keeps growing, it is really important to understand how each entity within CFAO in South Africa plays a role in the ecosystem that we've established, as well as the history of each entity towards the overall success story. So as part of that, we're now ready to hand over to our managing directors from each of our entities who will give a short insight and briefing into each company for everybody to understand a little bit about that history of how each entity plays a part in the integrated mobility ecosystem. First up, to tell us more about Toyota Tsusho Africa is the Managing Director, Wayne Boyer. And then directly after Wayne, we'll have the Managing Director of CFAO Mobility, Carl, who will also give us an overview of the mobility business. So over to you, Wayne.
Hi, everybody. I'm Wayne Boyer. I'm the Managing Director of Toyota Tsusho Africa. I've been with Toyota Tsusho for just over 20 years, and I've been in the current position of Managing Director for the last 4 years. Today, I would like to give you some insights as to how TTAF strategic growth objectives help contribute towards CFAO South Africa overall strategic drivers. And in particular today, I'd like to talk to you about two of their initiatives, which are manufacturing and localization and OEM collaboration. If we refer to our overall growth strategy for our business, we are very much focused on the South African automotive industry development plan. Within this plan, there are 6 initiatives, with the most important one for us, which we are focusing on, is localization. In South Africa, we have a very big drive for local OEMs to localize as much product as possible. There's actually a target of 60% local content which needs to be achieved within the next couple of years. So it's a very challenging target for our local OEMs. This target of localization is very closely linked to the government's incentive that our OEMs receive for manufacturing in South Africa. So by focusing on this particular point, Tradeshow Africa has developed 4 growth initiatives in order to help support the automotive industry, as well as support other OEMs develop their business in South Africa, and also increase their overall localization. When we look at our growth strategy for TGIF, the 4 initiatives are very closely linked. Our first initiative is supporting Toyota production. Of course, this is the foundation of our business. Our business was essentially established on Toyota business. So this is where we focus our initial growth objective. Very shortly, we have a very exciting project where we are launching the new IMV and Hilux. This is to be launched in January 2026. So this is a very big focus for us under our current business to ensure that we can secure as much product, as much business for Toyota in order to ensure a smooth startup of this project in 2026. Our next 2 initiatives, which are establish new local assembly and manufacturing business and promoting foreign manufacturing investment, are 2 very highly focused areas, which we have actually been doing in our business from as far back as 2004. When we look at the businesses we've started, for example, our green metals operation, our wheel and tire operation, our blanking operation, these are all projects which we have implemented in South Africa, which have helped grow the local economy, as well as develop local content manufacturing in South Africa. We've also been very heavily involved in setting up other Japanese companies in our supplier park where we are located. Companies such as Toyota Boshiku, South Africa, Toyota Gosai, Advix, and recently we have a new joint venture business which we are starting, which is a press manufacturing business. So very much the 2 objectives, local manufacturing business and promoting foreign manufacturing, are very closely linked, which we are putting huge effort in our business to try and encourage Japanese or Thai or foreign businesses set up manufacturing in South Africa. And in turn, this then helps to increase the local content of product, which goes into Toyota vehicles as well as other OEMs. This brings me to the last of our key focus areas, which is developing business with other OEMs. Our business is very heavily focused on Toyota. However, over the past 5 years, we've been focusing on trying to develop our business with other OEMs. Now, you may think with the name Toyota in our business, it may be difficult to do this. However, our strategy is to focus on the first-tier supplier. So we have many first-tier suppliers, around 70 to 80 first-tier suppliers who are localized, manufacturing in South Africa, and they are supplying multiple OEMs. So our strategy to grow into other OEMs has been through the first tier, where we have the relationship with them already with Toyota. We are now using our relationship and our good service and good knowledge of the markets to engage with those first tiers to support them with procuring products or localization for other OEMs. So this is an overview of what we're doing in South Africa. And very closely, these will align into CFAO South Africa objectives, particularly around manufacturing and localization and relationship with other OEMs. I hope this gives you some more insight as to what we are doing in TTIF. Thank you very much.
I am Karel Volskeek, Managing Director of CFAO Mobility. We have a motor retail business with 104 dealerships across all brands throughout South Africa. We also have a car rental business, which is the Hertz, Dollar Thrifty, and Firefly business represented in South Africa, Namibia, and Botswana. We also run a self-captive business, looking after the mobility needs of customers from a finance and insurance perspective. And we also have a property holding company with property to the value of 2.1 billion rand throughout South Africa. The mobility business, from a strategic perspective, will contribute towards CFAO South Africa's objectives, because we strategically will focus on looking after all the mobility needs of our customers, not just selling new and used and parts and service to the customer, but really looking after all the needs of the customer. All our strategies are all around customer attention, to give the best possible service to the customer throughout the lifespan of the customer's motoring needs. It is our objective to focus in the next couple of years to introduce a brand new used car strategy, to do business very differently to other motor retailers, to really grow our business, and to come up and to enable us to also to bring a new digitalization strategy that we make it much easier for ourselves and our customers to interact with each other on digital platforms. It is crucial for us to grow our business, and the only way we can grow this is to go into the digital era, make it much easier for people to transact with us. And looking at our competitors, we have the opinion that with the specific two strategies that we've identified, that we can really make a big difference. We are a very diverse company. It's a business that are very capital intensive and highly labor intensive. So we've got about 5,200 employees. But I have to, and I must say that as a group, we compare ourselves with other groups, and we are by far the most efficient and effective and profitable group in the market. And it's really because we have really the best employees working for us. Every 5,000, all 5,200 employees really add to the value chain. And we have a culture in our business that are very different. It's very entrepreneurial focused, where we allow our general managers to really run the businesses as if it's their own. There's a lot of ownership at that level, and we don't prescribe to our people. We will try and help and assist from a financial controlling perspective, but in essence, it's a business with a lot of entrepreneurial flair. We only do localized business in South Africa. We are not in manufacturing. Our whole model is an OEM model, which is really based around all the different brands we represent. We have extremely good relationships with these OEMs. We treasure those relationships, and part of our focus will be to work with all the manufacturers, because we need their support, because as a group, we want to grow into the future. Only way we can grow is to have these great relationships with them to approve our investments into the future. We'd like to grow this group beyond 150 dealers throughout South Africa. We have a mandate from CFAO in South Africa, as well from CFAO in Paris, as well as from TTC in Japan. So we've got very good support from our shareholders, and from where I sit, we look after the four basic pillars, which is our own people, customer, the manufacturer, and the shareholder. That's a balanced business we run, and that is the approach and the way we manage our business. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Wayne, for sharing your strategy for growth with a focus on localization. I've heard that statistic you shared, to increase local content to 60%. That is an ambitious goal for sure. And Carl, it was so interesting to hear you talk about digitization and the introduction of digital platforms. I absolutely heard your passion for quality relationships. Before we ask Richard Cox to introduce us to CFAO equipment, I just want to pause, because we have heard that some of you are struggling to connect with MS Edge. So I want to ask you to maybe try and access the platform, if you are struggling, using Chrome. So to rather use Chrome as your browser. And then if you are struggling to get into the game, you might need to refresh right at the top where you have the link. You might just have to refresh there. We have put up the QR code again for the game, so you still have an opportunity to beat that leaderboard You can still do it faster, complete that puzzle in a faster time for sure. So if you scan the QR code with your phone, you will have an opportunity to access the puzzle on the mobility ecosystem. And also as you scroll down, so below me, where you are seeing me now in the auditorium, if you scroll down, there should be a box with the game loaded there for you. We're going to keep the game active, so there will be an opportunity to still make it into that leaderboard, into the top 25 people that completed the puzzle in the fastest possible time. If you are still struggling, please click on the support button right at the top of your navigation bar next to rewards. You have virtual booths, and then to the right of that, rewards, and even further to the right, there is a button called support. There's a team of people waiting there to support you if you've got any problems to access any functionality on the platform. Right, then next up, we're going to have Richard Cox, as I mentioned, to introduce us to CFAO equipment. And directly after Richard, Akutsu-san will tell us more about AMS, Africa Mobility Solutions. Thank you, Richard.
Hi, I'm Richard Cox, the Managing Director of CFAO Equipment South Africa, a group that's made up of 3 entities, namely Toyota Material Handling, Heavy Lift, and 600 SA. Part of our goal and vision is to not only be a supplier and a partner of choice, but also, very importantly, an employer of choice. The most recent acquisition by CFAO South Africa was concluded in April of 2022. We are strongly committed to contributing to the group's overall strategic growth initiatives. We bring 40 years of history in the material handling industry, providing premium products and services with a very, very strong collaboration relationship with our OEMs. This has enabled us to remain at the forefront of innovation and, without a doubt, to help us maintain our position as market leaders in the material handling and industrial equipment environment. Although the majority of our products are fully imported, wherever able, we strive to support local industries in providing service products to support our main brands. CFAO Equipment South Africa has a level 1 BBBEE rating, and we have a proud history of transformation and integration. And we really want to offer opportunities for all that want to join and contribute to our great organization. From our approach to recruitment, learning and development, succession planning, we see that transformation and integration is crucial to our continued growth and success in the South African business environment. We continue to invest heavily in learning and development. We have accredited training centers across South Africa, providing world-class technical training and also supporting our in-house apprentice program. We take on between 30 and 50 young apprentices every year. And interestingly enough, last year, 30% of that intake was young females. We also support our employees with soft skills, leadership, and sales development programs. And we aim to give them the opportunity to grow their careers, but also to look for efficiencies in the business and ultimately to create a world-class service to our customers. CFAO's 160-year presence in Africa is creating opportunities and synergies within our own sub-Saharan dealer network. We are currently involved in a number of projects to roll out and create opportunities for Lopsia to present our very successful rental model into a number of African territories. This is already bearing fruit, and with a number of global key accounts looking for the rental solution, we're opening up market opportunities for both ourselves and the wider CFAO group. Our technical department continues to support CFAO with advice and also hands-on and web-based training to improve their service levels to our customers in Africa. Along with these opportunities, there's also the sale of spare parts and new opportunities opening up across the continent to supply quality pre-owned equipment. So this is just a short overview of who we are. And I really encourage you to join us on the 19th in our booth, where we will be present to answer any questions that you may have about CFAO in South Africa. So thank you for this opportunity, and we really look forward to seeing you on the 19th in the virtual trade show. Thank you. Goodbye.
Hello, everyone. My name is Akutsu, Managing Director of AMS, Africa Mobility Solutions, South Africa. I have been working for Africa for 20 years, from Japan, from Kenya, and here from South Africa. AMS are part of CFAO Mobility Division in charge of African countries. Our office is located in South Africa, therefore we are also part of division of CFAO South Africa. AMS South Africa are handling Toyota, Suzuki, Hino trucks, and so on, and supporting distributors in Africa, mainly Eastern and Southern region, in terms of sales and marketing, parts, and service. Our aim is to be the company who makes our distributors in Africa stronger and more profitable through our support. In order to do it, we always try to supply good products with competitive price and better quality at right time. Also, we provide several trainings for vehicle sales, parts, and service through online and physical visit. I believe AMS have lots of talented people and knowledge, but we would like to learn from you more to get better idea to expand our mobility business in Africa. I hope you can learn about AMS more through this trade show. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, Richard, for sharing your ambition to be a partner of choice and an employer of choice. It sounds as if CFAO equipment is doing a lot in terms of training and transformation. Akutsu ended his presentation with a great invitation to learn from everybody and collaborate more. This is exactly one of the objectives of the virtual trade show, as Viviana also mentioned at the outset. So thank you for that, Akutsu-san. I want to remind you guys of the chat function on the right-hand side. If you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to share with us there. And then we've also had some people that have confirmed that Chrome seems to be working much better in terms of access to the platform. And I see many of you were able to complete the game, the puzzle game, once you've refreshed. So if you are still struggling, you might need to refresh your browser right at the top of your screen. Now, you would have heard us referring to the integrated mobility ecosystem a few times, and to tell us more about the expansion of this ecosystem into other spheres and other industries, here is Philippe, our Deputy Chief Executive, Corporate and Development.
Everything in an ecosystem is connected. One part of the ecosystem can affect other parts. Synergy propels the collective advancement of our group. When we collaborate, we help each other succeed. At CFAO South Africa, we deliberately choose a circle to illustrate our CFAO South Africa integrated mobility ecosystem because it represents our robust value chain, collaboration, and unity.
Good morning, everybody. I'm delighted to welcome you to this trade show. I'm Philippe Fragnat, and I'm Deputy CEO in charge of corporate and development for CFAO in South Africa. Over the past 5 years, CFAO Group has created a unique mobility ecosystem in South Africa. We are now bringing to leading automotive OEM in country a unique offering from support to manufacturing and production, import and wholesale, leasing and rental, logistics, export, and retail. This development is very much in line with the strategy of the CFAO group, which looks at developing businesses fully integrated all along the value chain. The group has been operating in Africa for over 170 years. It is now operating into 46 countries, and the group is conducting its development with a long-term view, which brings stability. The group is as well committed to inclusive growth, and in South Africa, we have structured 3 different BE transactions for a total value of over R1 billion. We are also highly committed to industrialization, localization, and growth of the middle class through the creation of jobs. Through the efforts of everybody, and despite difficult time with COVID, with unrest, those developments have been successful. So we would like to thank everybody for the efforts being made over the past 5 years that really led us to a positive start in that first phase. The intention of the group is to keep on developing in South Africa. As you know, CFAO Group is operating in mobility, healthcare, energy, and consumer. And the group is already actively working on expanding its activity to the healthcare and the energy space. We are hoping to come back to you, maybe in the next trade show, with some positive outcome on those activities. Thank you.
Wow, Philippe, I keep learning about the CFAO group globally. Philippe mentioned 2 statistics that I would just like to emphasize to just pass us by. Philippe, you mentioned that the group has been operating in Africa for more than 170 years. That really talks to your track record and your reputation for stability in the continent. Now, I was curious about how long Coca-Cola has been in Africa as a brand. So I Googled it also last night. And did you know that CFAO as a group has been in Africa for longer than the Coca-Cola brand? Coca-Cola has only been in Africa for about 150 years, and CFAO has been in Africa for 170. So please tell me in the chat if you guys knew that snippet of information. And then the second statistic that Philippe mentioned that I just want to highlight is that the group operates in 46 countries. That's an amazing footprint that really talks to the size and the stature and the strategy for growth that is part of the DNA of this business. Now it is my absolute pleasure to introduce Cecile to you. You guys will know Cecile is the Vice President of HR, Communication, and CSR. Cecile joins us from Paris this morning from France.
Good morning to everyone in South Africa, and thanks a lot to the management team and to Andrew Vuleman for giving me the opportunity to be in front of you today for your first virtual trade show of CFAO South Africa. I'm Cécile Déré, VP Human Resources, Communications and CSR for CFAO Group. And what I want to share with you today is that CFAO is a unique group, in particular for its teams. We are in 4 business domains: mobility, healthcare, consumer, and infrastructures. We have had sustainable growth in Africa for 170 years. We are over 22,000 employees in 39 countries in Africa, and we share 4 core values: entrepreneurship, agility, diversity, and performance. Furthermore, above all, being part of CFAO means being able to exceed oneself professionally and individually by acting every day in your own way to support the transformation of the African continent. This is our motto, with Africa for Africa. This motto is not just a sentence. This is a reality with many concrete examples of how it has been put into practice. Being part of CFAO group means be part of growth-oriented sectors. This means also act for the transformation of Africa. This means to join a Pan-African group and to have the opportunity to meet a multitude of cultures. And this gives you the opportunities to learn, grow, and succeed. Of course, we must continue to strengthen the reality of our motto. In terms of HR management, what we want to build with you and for you, this is a caring company. Our strength comes in particular from our diversity in teams, in terms of country, nationality, origin, gender, expertise. However, this is a strength only if we develop our networking and collaboration, if we're breaking down silos. For this, internal mobility is an extraordinary tool. This is also one of the best ways to allow your personal development and group growth. This is why the mobility within CFAO group is one of our HR priorities. It also means acting on skills development, another of our HR priorities. Skill development is essential for both you and the group. It takes place in your job with the support of your manager and also through training. I will conclude with two messages, one for each employee and one for each manager. For each employee, don't hesitate to handle your professional journey. For each manager, always keep in mind that we rise by lifting others. Thank you very much.
Good morning, colleagues. I'm Muriel Ogudjobi. I'm the Divisional HR Head of CFAO South Africa, and it is great to be here with you on our first virtual trade show of CFAO South Africa. One of the top priorities of our human capital team is to improve your overall work experience in CFAO South Africa. This is because we acknowledge that our 7,000 colleagues are the critical driver of our success. As Cécile mentioned earlier, skills development and internal mobility are among the group HR priority. To that end, we were excited to launch two projects. The first project is the implementation of CFAO Campus South Africa last month. The goal of the CFAO Campus South Africa is to deliver several skills development programs with the ambition to form one global learning ecosystem and to offer various soft skills, finance, well-being, and leadership courses. The campus will help us to address the various training needs of the different entities within the group and to empower our colleagues across South Africa. You can see some pictures of the last two sessions that we had last month. The first one was the senior management level of our leadership program, where the participants explored the topic of leading with insight during 2 days. And the second training, called Managing for Result, was also quite successful. Secondly, we also launched Move Up, which is an internal job marketplace. And with Move Up, you can move across the different entities of CFAO South Africa by being informed in real time of internal vacancies. And you can also have access to geographical mobility opportunity within the rest of the CFAO group. But let's hear from our MDs.
I am Richard Cox, and as the Managing Director of CFAO Equipment South Africa, I would just like to lend our support and say how pleased I am finally at the launch of our mobility website, MoveUp. So if you are feeling mobile and looking for a new career challenge, look no further than MoveUp.
Hello, my name is Akutsu, MD of AMS South Africa. I strongly believe people, all of you, are very important for our group. Without you, we cannot expand our business. One of the keys for people's growth is to provide solid career development for each individuals. Then MoveUp will contribute your career development. So I support MoveUp. 3, 2, 1, MoveUp!
I'm Karel Volskenk. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of CFAO Mobility in South Africa. And just to say that for me, it's all about people in our business. We're a people-driven company, and it's all about people development. So I'm a big supporter of MoveUp.
A new business platform called MoveUp will be launched shortly. This will give you access to all available positions within the group, which will help support you with your career aspirations or mobility requirements. Please look out for this exciting new platform.
So it's great. We definitely have the support of our MD, and I really encourage you to visit the MoveUp portal and explore new career opportunity. I would also like to take the opportunity to remind you of values: entrepreneurship, agility, diversity, and performance. We have spent some time to unpack the meaning of our values in the South African context and in our business reality in collaboration with the leadership team. We will start a campaign to share more with you around the CFAO values and the behavior that define our CFAO way. In conclusion, I would like to emphasize the CFAO leadership commitment to ensure that you succeed in your position, because your personal success equals CFAO South Africa success. Thank you.
That's incredible. Thank you to Cecile and Muriel. It's absolutely incredible to see from a people and HR perspective at both a CFAO group level in Paris as well as locally here in South Africa what is being done to grow the skills development and internal mobility for our people. It's absolutely fantastic for over 7,000 of our colleagues. So you've heard from our leadership team speak about the remarkable growth in each of their businesses and how they contribute to the integrated mobility ecosystem. And it's now that we want to turn our focus to the future of CFAO in South Africa.
Our vision for CFAO South Africa is clear. We aim to deliver an integrated mobility ecosystem that will see South Africa's expansion while further supporting the group's expansion into the African continent, not only in the automotive sector, but other sectors that align to the CFAO group strategy, including pharmaceuticals and renewable energy.
In fact, CFAO South Africa's growth story is only just beginning. That's because our growth strategy is as strong as the companies who deliver it and the teams who drive it.
We are as committed to strengthening our mobility value chain as we are to driving integration and transformation.
Growing manufacturing and localization, enabling digitalization, and ensuring OEM collaboration and a multi-brand focus. Our strategic direction is also clear. We know that as a strong and united company with diverse skills, experiences, and capabilities, we're ready to unlock even greater business success in the automotive industry, new directions and opportunities in the non-automotive business sectors, and more innovations across the entire value chain.
And when you combine this with our global network within the CFAO group brand and support it with our values of entrepreneurship, agility, diversity, and performance, which we share as a group, you get one very powerful force on the African continent.
One that is perfectly positioned to become a key player in South Africa's mobility market, while moving towards market leadership in a way that will ensure our collective growth, success, and sustainability for generations to come.
With Africa, for Africa.
That's inspiring, for sure. Now, I want you to think about one word with which you will describe the future of the CFAO group in South Africa and in Africa. So as you think about one word to describe it, we are going to pull up a word cloud type poll, and I want you to just enter that one word into that poll, into that word cloud. So you should see it on your screen. It might be towards the right-hand side over the chat function. And then I'm going to give you 10 seconds to just populate for us. And please enter your one word. If you sit back and you think about the future of CFAO, what words would you use to describe it? Thank you. I'm seeing there are 185 people busy typing a word to describe the future of the group. And it seems like there's 3 words that really stands out: progressive, dynamic, futuristic. I see more people typing. I'm going to give it 3 or 4 more seconds. We would love to hear from you. Please share with us. How would you describe the future of this group? If you were attending a bride tonight, or you were with friends or family, what words would you use to describe the future of CFAO South Africa? I see 458 people submitting. What an incredible word cloud. You can be so proud to be part of such a dynamic group that is excited and hopeful about the future. The leadership team has joined us here in the studio. So we are going to move now to a panel discussion. So we're going to allow about 10 minutes for questions and answers. So you are welcome to keep putting your questions in the chat function, any questions that you've got for the leadership group collectively as a group, or for any specific member in the leadership team. Maybe you've got a question for Wayne specifically, or a question for Andrew specifically, doesn't matter. You are welcome to populate it there on the right-hand side in the chat function, any comments, any questions that you might have. We are going to start. I've seen a lot of questions about the future of the growth, the expansion of the group. So I'm going to ask maybe Andrew and Philippe to join me on stage. And I'm going to ask both of them to maybe reflect on the question, are there any new subsidiaries or any expansions in the pipeline? I know some of the MDs also mentioned the expansion of the OEM relationships. But anything you want to add to what was already said about expansion and growth in the future for CFAO. Andrew, maybe you can start, and then Philippe would like to add.
Thanks, Liesel. And just to reconfirm, to say thank you for everyone joining today. We have more than 1,500 people online, so quite amazing for us. But first and foremost for us is the issue of people development and retention. It's very, very key, and I think you can see that that's been driven today quite strongly. There are two sort of catchphrases that I've taken from Toyota's chief executive, which is we plan to leave nobody behind. That's quite key for us. And secondly, recently from our Hertz team, our chief executive there mentioning we rise by lifting others. So these two themes around people development, about people mobility, is very key for us. Secondly, we intend to continue to expand our mobility platform. That's the core of our business here in South Africa. And that's very important for us. Through this focus, we continue to focus on a multi-brand approach. We are participating with many brands, as our MDs have shared with us. The third pillar is around localization, and Wayne and his team working on a new project called Ogihara, which will be one of the biggest investments that we've made for several years, and we wish him all the success on that. That, as Wayne mentioned, will be operational by the middle of next year. We also intend to support the rest of our group from South Africa with some initiatives. And through this activity, we want to then continually focusing on everybody's development and the company's development. But I'll pass over to Philip because, as he had shared during his speech, we intend to enter into healthcare and to renewable energy quite strongly. And Philip, please, your comments on that topic.
Thanks, Andrew. Good morning again to everybody. I think it's very meaningful for all of us to be together on time. At the same time, live, 1,500 people. I think after 5 years of, quite strong and fast-paced growth, it's really making us one team today in South Africa. And thanks very much all for joining. Perhaps just to add on what Andrew has said and just to also reflect on some of the comments that were shared. Firstly, thank you to everybody for the strong commitment through the past few years. You've heard directly from our chairman and CEO as a group, Mr. Richard Biel, how much appreciation there was in the group for how successful those developments have been, our resilience, our operation have been through COVID, through unrest, through load shedding even on a daily basis. So thanks for fighting and thanks for contributing to the growth of our operation. I think thanks to this, there's trust in our ability to grow further, and there's confidence that there's a positive future for South Africa to basically support the growth of the group in country, but also to support further the development of our activities in the rest of Africa, because South Africa remains, a country with a very good level of education, high level of expertise, and technicality on some topic, and definitely there's a willingness from the group to rely on that to support the growth of the rest of the continent. Just to, basically echo Andrew's comment regarding to healthcare and infrastructure, and maybe to make that a bit more concrete, we are currently in due diligence phase for the acquisition of one legal entity on the healthcare side. We're hoping that by July we would have first, portion of operation related to distribution of non-scripted product in country. So that would be the first step for CFAO Healthcare South Africa, hopefully by July this year. Working on it actively at the moment. And then the second element is on infrastructure, which obviously needs heavier capex investment, but definitely a strong commitment from the group to look at how we can support and address the energy issues in country. And on this one, there's already one expat from Euros, which is the one entity within our organization that's specialized on large utility scale product, and one expat will join our operation here in South Africa from the 1st of April. So very concrete steps. Those are small steps, and we're definitely moving forward and keeping a positive view on the future of South Africa and our operations, thanks to all your efforts. So again, a word of appreciation for the efforts that are putting in on a daily basis by you guys.
Thank you very much.
Again, Liesl, just to re-emphasize the point about everybody's strong collaboration. It's through these activities, as Philip pointed out, that the strength of our group is growing day by day through all the difficulties that have been endured over the last 3 years. So re-emphasizing Philip's point, but just a very big thank you from us for these huge efforts.
Thank you, Andrew, and thank you, Philippe. It is really energizing for me as a outsider to view how contagious the growth and the dynamics around growth in your industry, but also in this group is. Andrew mentioned we rise by lifting others. So I'm going to ask Muriel to join me on stage for the next question. Some of you have posted questions about accessing MoveUp and how MoveUp will enable you in terms of career growth and promotion. Muriel, will you comment on the beautiful quote that I think Cecile made when she said we rise by lifting others, and Andrew also referenced it, and then maybe expand just in 30 seconds on MoveUp.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. It's good to be here, and thank you, Liesl, for helping us today. It's quite an inspiring quotation, and I'm saying a big kudos to Julian, who will know why I'm saying hi based on that quotation. I think for MoveUp, we basically have now access to a platform where we can have access to all the different job opportunities here in South Africa, but not only, also in the rest of the CFAO group. And that's basically an opportunity to, discover new business, new career opportunities, but also to basically develop our skills by just learning something else, something different, and leverage on the experience of the group. So MoveUp, it's a platform which is currently existing already in many countries. It's a platform that have been initiated and launched at the group level. Here in South Africa, we were making quite a lot of tests. I think that now we've reached the level where it's functional. So there is already some position available on MoveUp. We'll put the link on the chat, and you will also see from next week quite a lot of posters and communication in all your different entities. But right now, I was looking this morning, I think there is almost 70 job opportunity, at least in the African continent. So MoveUp is definitely something that we're quite excited about.
Thank you, Muriel. It is wonderful to see the comments around MoveUp and the interest that people have in growing and developing their own skills for career expansion and just to grow your network as well. So there was a question around eco footprint, and I know that these days the sustainability of what we do is so important. So I'm going to ask Wayne to maybe join us. Wayne, the question that I'm reading here is, as a business dealing in logistics and metals and chemicals, how do you manage your eco footprint to ensure that you have as a minimal impact on the environment as possible? Good morning, Wayne. How are you?
Hi, morning, everybody.
Good.
Nice
Wayne,
to be here with
I'm
you
not
today.
sure if you heard my question.
I did hear the question.
Okay.
So from a TTF perspective, we're importing products from all over the world. I mean, we have a huge global footprint as far as all the logistics, movement of raw materials into the country, and then also we have footprints locally where we are adding value to product or doing manufacturing and local logistics. So this is a huge topic, and it's obviously very broad as far as from starting point all the way to delivering product to the end customer. So as a starting point, we are controlling our internal environment. So within our operations, specifically at our head office, our first step is to try and reduce our global footprint, where we are going to start off with the electricity consumption, where we are installing solar panels on our facility, which should initially reduce our electrical consumption by around 25%. So that's the first controllable item that we are working on. Second, we're also looking at all of our handling equipment. So we are moving towards battery and lithium battery in particular, which will also help reduce some of our footprint. Thereafter, looking at all of our equipment, of course, when we make new investment, we are procuring vehicles and equipment that is of the most efficient as possible to try and reduce our global footprint. As we move on into more manufacturing, we'll obviously have to put more mitigating factors in place. But for now, we are trying to control what is under our control. I know there's a huge amount that isn't under our control when we think about the shipment of material, the movement of material globally. But for now, our first step is to focus on our own operation to try and reduce that footprint as best as possible.
Thank you so much, Wayne. I had a look at your virtual booth also, and I think there's more information in there as well as about the sustainability of what you are doing, if I recall correctly. Thank you so much for that. If Carl is, Richard is backstage, I'm going to ask Richard to maybe join me. There was a question around partnership opportunities. Good morning, Richard. How are you? Richard, you're on mute, I think.
It's my grey hair and my ability to understand technology. So good morning, everyone, and thanks for having me. It's good to be here. And, to my colleagues, well done. Yes, thanks, Cesar. I heard the question. I think there's a number of opportunities within the CFAO group or South Africa for partnerships. I think just an example of one was an introduction through mobility to the Coca-Cola group we hadn't dealt with for some time, which led to a very big order, a successful order of over 100 million. I think we're talking to AMS quite a lot in terms of logistics into Africa and partnering with each other to support not only the CFAO dealers, but also our own independent dealers to see where we can find synergies and opportunities for both. I think we've obviously the Campus South Africa, our facilities there. So we're offering those facilities for the Campus South Africa, the learning and development and training. But certainly, I think the growth through Africa, I think there's a lot of opportunities and partnerships, as well as just the sort of what we would think to be the norm. So supplying Wayne those lithium-ion batteries and electric forklifts. And those are the partnerships, I think, where we need to support each other. And I think as the group grows and we look at the strategy, and as Philippe has mentioned, there's going to be a lot of opportunities, I think, within and across the group to assist and support each other from a business and a leadership and ideas perspective. So I think there's a lot of opportunities for synergies.
Thank you, Richard. I love that you referred to opportunities that were already explored, a lot of things already being done, and a lot more in the pipeline as well. Carl, I'm going to put you on the spot for a question around digital commerce. I'm just waiting for Carl to join so that he can hear me. I'm going to read the question in the meantime, and we'll see if Carl is able to join us. The question that was posed on the chat is, will digital commerce become a more significant cross-group route to market, or just a supplementary channel to the dealerships? So we know that in Carl's business, CFAO Mobility, dealerships being an anchor part of your business, but do you foresee digital and the commerce side of business expanding? Hello, Carl. We've got you. Good morning.
Hi, Liesel. Good morning, everybody. Yes, we in the digital era, we've realized that about 3-4 years ago already that we have to enter the digital space. Although we've decided that we've got a very clear strategy that we first determined on where we want to go with used cars, but we also realized that this digital space that we need to enter has to also grow into the digital space for new cars, parts, service, and of course, value-adding products and the way that the customer wants to finance their vehicles in the future. So the traditional way of doing things will definitely change. Our first step was to collapse about 100 websites into one common platform, and we will, by the end of this month, collapse all BMWs into the common platform. They were the last division to go across because of various reasons, because of the demands from the interactivity from the BMW South Africa. But by the end of the month, we'll have one common platform that we can start to act and to engage with our customer digitally. And we will drive most of the business to our one common website. And then from there on, of course, we will add a lot of functionality from a digital perspective to all our customers. And that is the space that we need to grow in and go to. And we want to invest quite substantially into it, that one day that we can move and create our own platform on the used car side, that we don't need the likes of the auto traders. But of course, a lot of water needs to run into that river before it runs into the big CFAO mobility sea, because we need to really spend a lot of money to drive traffic across all our used cars on the used car business side. We want to grow our used car business by 50% in the next 5 years. I think it's very, let's say, a conservative approach, but we want to approach it step by step to have about a 10% growth per year, but not compounded growth, because we have to be fair to the guys. We're going to change the way that we do business, and we need to pull our people along. So our biggest challenge is to really educate and pull our people along. We will have the functionality, but I think we're entering a very interesting, exciting space for our staff and, of course, for the customer. So we're very excited about the way we're going to do business going forward as a mobility business.
Thank you, Carl. That is a huge number, growing the used car business by 50%. Thank you for sharing. That's very exciting. Okay. Keep us posted.
And the reason, maybe, sorry, Liesel, that we are interactive, the only reason is it's the only area that we can really control, that the OEMs are not very prescriptive to us. And we've identified that area to grow our business, because we're still in charge of our own destiny with used cars, doing it the way we would like to do it, and to control the margin. So going forward, we want to build a sustainable business that's a very viable option, business for our people, and that we can look after our people. And we grow a business. We're busy growing our business and building a foundation that the youngsters in our business can see a future for the next 20 years.
Spot on, and there's a lot of competitor movement in that space as well, as you've mentioned. Thank you. There is one last quick question that I would like to pose to AMS. So I'm going to ask Akutsu-san to join us here. What are the major challenges you experience in operating in 32 countries? That is, again, a massive footprint, many, many countries. And how does being part of CFAO and being part of such a dynamic group help you in overcoming these challenges?
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Akutsu. I think, as you noticed, that the 2 videos you saw was recorded, but this one is really live. Therefore, if I miss a word, let me excuse. So as we say that we are in charge of that Africa countries, many countries, then I see that some countries situation is very bad, some countries situation is very good. So it's a fluctuating. But I see that the country is always like up and down, up and down. Then, but whenever I visit the countries, I see population is increasing. Then also that cities developing. Therefore, I believe anyway, these many countries will grow step by step. Therefore, then for me, like with Africa, for Africa is we support for Africa for their development. Then together with that development, we also develop and expand our business. Therefore, as long as we take care of customer continuously, I think anyway we can develop further together with many colleagues in the 32 countries. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Akutsu. It really is such a dynamic structure to think about how many countries with their own unique rules and regulations you guys are supporting. Unfortunately, this is all we have time for today. I'm going to ask my co-pilot, Viviana, to join me on stage.
Thanks, Liesl. That was really... I know, absolutely. I was just going to say the exact same thing. I wish we had more time. We're getting fantastic, valuable questions through the chat. It really is a pity our leadership team, our MDs, were not able to stay a little bit longer. We didn't have enough time to get them to answer more questions. But I really want to indicate that we will still be taking all the questions offline. We will make sure that all of your questions have an answer, and we will publish those answers in the coming couple of weeks to all of you, so it's not wasted. So keep the chat going, keep asking your questions as you go. I know we're running a little bit over time, but I think it's been a great session so far. Yeah, I think, Liesl, great to hear from everybody, right?
Absolutely, Viviana. And I just want to acknowledge that as Viviana also indicated, we saw the questions also on some staff benefits. There was quite a few of them coming through. So I think Viviana and the team with Muriel definitely committed to answer those in the coming weeks. And remember, you will also have an opportunity to still ask questions in the booths. So when we wrap up this part of our virtual trade show now, you are going to have an opportunity to visit all the virtual booths. And these booths will remain open till 5 o'clock this afternoon. And there you would be able to engage with the leadership of the different entities and ask more questions. There will be people answering your questions as well. So please, you can continue asking questions in the booths.
Absolutely. And Liesl, I also want to just bring a last touch on the rewards page for everybody. Now that we end our live events in the auditorium, everybody, as you mentioned, is able to go into the virtual booths for each entity. So click on the rewards page and make sure that you find and collect all the missing badges and the stars in order to be eligible to enter into the raffle draw for each entity. That will be done on a randomized basis, as I mentioned, after the event, and the winners will be published. As Liesl mentioned, I know we are running a little bit over time, but the booths are open till 5 o'clock today. So yeah, make sure, visit the booths. There's some absolutely amazing content that each of our entities have published in their booths. So really encourage you to visit those, find those missing hands. It's like a treasure hunt. So make sure you scroll and you're looking through all those booths to find those hands, and also to access all the great and exciting content that's available in those booths. That is how you are going to uncover your stars. And as you do that, you can go back to your rewards page and you will see that all the grayed out options will then light up. So you know that once you are finished, you'll have a complete rewards page, and that means that you'll be entered into the lucky draw. So try to take some time to do that. Really encourage you to access each of the virtual booths now.
So at the top of the navigation, you would see that there is the auditorium link where we are now. Right next to it, it says virtual booths. So when we are done here, not now, but when we are done here, you're going to click there on virtual booths, and you will arrive on a page with the 5 booths that's available. And you're going to select which one to start with. They are all amazing, and you can go back and forth between them. You can access them more than once. You can go and revisit one if you want to have a look at another video, or download a PDF, or download their organogram. There is stacks of information, guys. So I really want to encourage you to spend some time to digest all the content there. And then come back to the rewards link to see, as Viviana said, how you are doing in terms of your treasure hunt and collecting all your stars. There are also leaderboards in each of the booths. So just as you saw earlier, there's a leaderboard for each of the games in the 5 booths. So next week, the week after, we're definitely going to celebrate, Viviana, the people on those leaderboards that had the fastest fingers in terms of the gaming angles. I'm looking forward to that. While we've got all of you here, we want to ask you to reflect with us on your experience with the virtual trade show to date. So you will see a poll appearing, or a survey, I should say, a survey appearing over the chat function that is going to ask you to rate your experience with the virtual trade show out of 5 stars. So 1 star, if you think there's room for improvement, maybe, and then 5 stars if it was amazing and you want to see more of it and you don't want to leave, then it is 5 out of 5. This is anonymous. We don't know who rates what. So this is completely anonymous. You can just click on the number of stars for your experience to date.
Just to add on to that, Liesel, if you are inside the actual chat, just push the back arrow on the top left of the actual chat box. That will take you to the main page, and that's where you'll see that survey pop up, just in case you can't find it. So definitely, please add your comments there. It would be really invaluable to just hear what you thought. This is the first trade show we've ever done, so really hoping that we get as much feedback as we can to improve the experience for the next time. So keep those comments coming.
There's also a second question there under the survey, just whether the content today has helped you to understand the CFAO group a little bit better. So we know you're going to still experience a lot of content in the virtual booths. So you've only seen the tip of the iceberg now. But based on what you've seen so far, do you feel like it has added to your knowledge of the CFAO group? And then any suggestions you might have for future events, any comments, you are welcome to also put for us in the open-ended chat. We would love to hear from you what you would like to see more of next time, or any comments. Right, I'm reminding you that the booths will remain open till 5 o'clock today. So if you can't stay now for a long time, pop in, have a look, and then maybe you want to circle back a little bit later. They will remain open, and you are welcome to access them as often as you like. So you have unlimited access, unlimited number of vouchers to access the various booths.
Absolutely.
Viviana, can you believe This is almost the end of this section.
Exactly. It's been phenomenal. It's really been an exciting experience. So happy to see that over 1,500 people have joined us online today. Please go out back into your businesses, share what you've learned. Make sure you're having those discussions with your colleagues to share the excitement and any information you might have taken from today. This is certainly not going to be the last. And also the information that we've populated here will definitely be reused in our business going forward into the future. So that is very exciting. We will share those recordings with members that perhaps have not been able to join today. But yes, like Liesel, as you said, it's not wasted. The booths are open till 5. So make sure you go into those virtual booths and access that invaluable information that's there. Also, just from my side, I want to just take the opportunity now super quickly to thank everybody for joining us. I know it's a big ask. Our businesses are very busy, lots going on in the operations. So your time is absolutely invaluable to us, and we really appreciate you participating and joining us for this trade show. And yeah, giving us the opportunity to also hear from you. The comments have been absolutely great in the chat, so we'll definitely take those and make sure we publish those answers for you. So thank you, everybody.
I can just echo what Viviana said from my side. Really a big shout out to the leadership team of the CFAO South Africa group for being willing, for making themselves vulnerable, for all the content, all the building of the booths, the participation. Really, hats off to everybody. What a great event this has been. Enjoy the virtual booths. Please click on those links. We're going to play out with one last video, and then I'll see you in the booths on the other side. Have an awesome afternoon.
Cheers. Bye, everybody.